Today, we are diving deep into the brutal, ingenious, and sometimes shocking tactics animals use in the high-stakes game of survival. We're talking about poisonous nurseries, coordinated executions. We're about to uncover some of nature's deadliest secrets. So let's start with a question to get us thinking. What do you picture as the deadliest weapon in the entire animal kingdom? Is it razor-sharp claws? Is it powerful, crushing jaws? Well, what if I told you the real answer is something far more subtle and way more lethal? Yeah, the answer might actually surprise you. Because out here, victory, it isn't always about brute force. Nope, it's about incredible, mind-boggling precision. It's a game of chemistry, of temperature, of dosage, where even the slightest mistake means certain death. Okay, for our first story, we're heading down to the forest floor. And believe it or not, a mother frog, no bigger than your thumbnail, has developed a truly mind-bending form of chemical warfare to protect her young. So, picture this little poison dart frog. She's facing this constant, agonizing choice. She has to leave her tadpoles to go find food, but that leaves them totally vulnerable to predators. Or, at least, that's what you'd think. Turns out, she has this brilliant multi-step plan that literally turns her own body into a sophisticated weapons factory. It's amazing. First, she just gorges herself on these tiny poisonous ants. Then, her body takes those toxins and refines them, cooks them up into something way more potent. And finally, she goes back to her little nursery pools and lays a single unfertilized egg that's just packed with this poison for her tadpoles to eat. And what this whole process creates is a powerful neurotoxin. So when her tadpoles eat that egg, the poison seeps out, flooding their little nursery pool. This mother isn't just feeding her young, she's arming them. She's turning their home into a deadly, invisible moat. All right, let's scale things up a bit. For our next case, we're moving from a single mother's chemical warfare to an entire army, a collective facing a truly monstrous invader. And talk about a mismatch. I mean, this is a classic David versus Goliath story. On one side, you've got the giant Asian hornet, the world's largest wasp, a literal flying assassin. And on the other, the Japanese honeybee, 4 times smaller and, you'd think, completely defenseless. But here's the thing. The hornet isn't really after the adult bees. No, its real target is the future of the entire colony, the thousands upon thousands of helpless larvae hidden deep inside the hive. And it only takes a few of these hornets to completely annihilate that hive in a matter of hours. The hornet breaches their defenses, and the hive has one last desperate chance. A chemical alarm goes out. It's a signal that basically compels every bee to drop what they're doing, to move as one single organism, and just swarm the intruder. But they don't sting. A sting would be totally useless. Instead, they form this tight bee ball all around the hornet, and every single bee begins flexing its flight muscles in perfect unison. They're not trying to fly, they're vibrating. They're turning their own collective energy into a living, breathing oven. Now this is what's so incredible. The sheer precision it takes to pull this off. I mean, these bees are walking an impossibly fine line. If the temperature goes just 1 degree higher, they'd cook themselves right along with their enemy. 117 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the magic number. It is the absolute perfect temperature, hot enough to literally cook the hornet alive, but just, and I mean just, cool enough for the bees themselves to survive. It's a coordinated thermal execution. Absolutely brilliant. For our final case, we're going to witness a primal one-on-one battle between 2 of the world's deadliest snakes. And in this fight, victory isn't about heat or hidden poisons. It comes down to a simple, brutal calculation of venom. Welcome to the snake-eats-snake world of the Australian outback. The king brown snake actually hunts other venomous snakes, and it has this critical advantage. It's immune to the venom of many of its rivals, including the smaller but incredibly deadly taipan. So this sets up a really fascinating clash of evolutionary strategies, right? The inland taipan, it has the single most toxic venom of any snake on Earth. It's all about quality, all about potency. But the king brown, it plays a very different game. Its whole strategy is just overwhelming quality. So how does it possibly win against a more toxic snake? Well, the King Brown strategy is pure brute force. It injects up to 6 times more venom than the taipan in a single bite. It's one of the largest venom yields ever recorded. And for its prey, the result of that massive dose is just a catastrophic rapid system shutdown. We're talking hemorrhaging, paralysis, and ultimately total renal failure. It's a victory, not of elegance, but of overwhelming brute force chemistry. So what do these three incredible stories of primal warfare, a mother's poisonous gift, a coordinated execution, a duel of venoms, what do they really tell us about the nature of survival itself? Think about it. We've seen a frog weaponize its diet. We've seen honeybees weaponize temperature. We've seen a snake weaponize sheer volume. What's the common thread here? What connects all these incredible and incredibly different strategies? The common thread is precision, the perfect adaptation. Whether it's the exact chemical formula of a poison, the precise temperature of an attack, or just the overwhelming dose of venom, survival is a game of razor-thin margins. It's a war of inches. And in this war, there is absolutely